A gentle night in colonial America. A sleep story. Find a comfortable position and let your body grow heavy. Allow your breathing to become slow and deep, in and out. Tonight, we are going to gently drift back in time, not to relive hardship, but to experience the quiet, rhythmic pace of a distant evening. We're going to visit colonial America and simply observe and rest. Let your mind's eye begin to paint a soft picture. It is just after sunset in the early 1700s. The frantic energy of the day has settled. The world is moving at the speed of candle flame and settling earth. The smell of wood smoke and evening air. The first thing you notice is not a sight, but a scent. It is the deeply comforting, earthy perfume of wood smoke. It drifts, not sharp, but soft, a blanket of scent from hearth fires all across the settlement. Beneath it is the clean, damp smell of turned soil after a day's work, and the distant, hay-like sweetness of a barn. There is no rush in this smell. It is the signature of a day completed, of homes hunkering down for the night. Breathe it in slowly, and let it go. The sanctuary of the hearth. You are inside a small, wooden home. The walls are made of hand-hewn timber and plaster, and they seem to hold the quiet close. The only light comes from the hearth, the heart of the home. Its light does not glare. It flickers. It dances warm and gold on the walls, making the shadows deep and soft. The fire whispers to itself, a gentle crackle of sap in a log, a soft hiss as a coal settles. This is the only sound for a long, peaceful moment. Just the breath of the fire. Look around the room in the dim, pulsing light. Everything here was made by hand. The table bears the gentle marks of an adze. The chairs are simple, sturdy. A spinning wheel sits in the corner, its wheel still. This is a world of natural textures, wood grain, woven wool, smooth pottery. There is nothing jarring here. Nothing artificial. Just the quiet testimony of craft and care. The ritual of rest. The family is moving slowly, preparing for sleep. There is no electric hum, no buzz of devices. Just the soft, muffled sounds of a day ending. The creak of a floorboard under a wool-stockinged foot. The rustle of a straw mattress being smoothed by a gentle hand. The dull clink of a pewter cup being set on a shelf. A woman sits by the fire, her hands moving rhythmically, slowly. She is knitting or mending. The yarn makes a soft, whispery sound as it passes through her fingers. A perfect, soothing rhythm. Her rocking chair creaks in time with her movements, a gentle, wooden lullaby. Outside, the world is settling too. Through the small window, shuttered against the cool air, you can hear the final calls of the day. A lone cricket begins its nightly song. Far away, an owl asks its question into the darkness. The family cow shifts in her stall with a deep, comfortable sigh. The wind, a friendly visitor, brushes against the side of the house, making the cedar shingles sigh softly in response. A journey to the well. Earlier, as twilight fell, a child was sent to fetch the last bucket of water from the well. Imagine walking that path with them, slowly, without urgency. The path is packed earth, cool beneath bare feet. The air is turning crisp. You can hear the well rope groan as the bucket is lowered, a long, wooden moan. Then a distant, perfect plunk as it hits the dark, cool water far below. The rope groans again as it's pulled up, hand over hand, the bucket dripping and heavy with the night's first stars reflected on its surface. The water, when you sip it, is cold and clear, tasting of stone and deep earth. There is a profound peace in this simple, essential task. Slipping into sleep. Now, back inside, the family gathers for a moment of quiet. They might share a verse from the Bible, their voices low and melodic. Or they might simply sit in grateful silence, watching the flames perform their final, slow dance of the day. One by one, they move to their beds, simple frames with ropes stretched tight, topped with mattresses stuffed with sweet-smelling straw or dried herbs. They settle in with heavy quilts, stitched with patterns that tell stories of their own. You, too, can settle now. Feel the imagined weight of a hand-stitched quilt over you. Smell the faint scent of lavender and wood smoke in the straw pillow. Hear the breathing of the household begin to slow and synchronize with the dying fire. The last embers in the hearth glow like a constellation of tiny, warm oranges. The fire whisper becomes the faintest sigh. The cricket's song and the slow, steady breath of the sleepers are the only music. This is a world built on patience, on the slow turn of seasons, on the growth of crops, on the careful stitch of a seam. There is no urgency here in the dark, only restoration. A new day, gently. As you float on the edge of sleep, know that the morning will come gently. It will begin not with an alarm, but with the first charcoal gray light seeping through the oiled paper window. Then, the rooster's distant call, not a shriek, but a clear, official announcement that the world is turning. There will be the sound of kindling being carefully arranged in the ashes, the hopeful crackle of a new flame being born, the smell of cornmeal porridge warming in a pot. But that is for the morning. For now, there is only this deep, historical quiet. You are safe. You are warm. You are part of a slow, ancient rhythm. Let your breathing match the slow rhythm of the sleeping house. Let your thoughts drift like smoke from a settled hearth. And allow yourself to sink into the deep, restorative peace of a colonial night. The last of the daylight fades completely now, leaving the room in the tender care of the firelight and the soft, blue darkness that fills the corners. The shadows no longer dance, but simply rest, stretched long and still. The woman by the hearth ties off her final stitch, her work complete. She places her mending in a woven basket, the rustle of cloth like a whispered secret. With a soft, tired sigh, she stands, her chair releasing one last, gentle creak as if wishing her good night. She moves to the hearth, a silhouette against the glowing embers. You watch as she performs the final ritual of the day. With an iron rod, she carefully nudges the largest logs, encouraging them to collapse into a bed of united warmth. She sprinkles a handful of ashes over the top, a gray blanket to keep the heat through the long night. The fire's light dims to a deep, pulsing red, like the slow, steady heartbeat of the home itself. She moves through the room, a quiet guardian. Her hand passes over the smooth wood of the table, checks the latch on the heavy door, a soft, solid thunk of finality, and blows out the single tallow candle on the mantel. Its small, greasy flame vanishes with a faint hiss and a wisp of smoke that smells faintly of mutton fat, quickly swallowed by the stronger, cleaner scent of the banked fire. Now, the only light is the hearth's gentle blush. It paints the faces of the sleeping children in tones of rose and shadow. Their breathing is deep and even, a soft duet of innocence. In the loft above, you hear the parents settle into their own bed, the ropes beneath the mattress singing a low, tuneless chord as weight is redistributed, then silence. You are surrounded by the sounds of rest. The wind outside has settled into a consistent, soothing whisper against the clapboard siding. It's not a howl, but a lullaby, as if the forest itself is exhaling. The owl is silent now, its curiosity satisfied. The cricket, however, has been joined by others. Their chorus is not loud, but vast, a shimmering, rhythmic hum that seems to come from the very earth, a vibration of contentment from the cooling soil. Let your awareness soften. You are not just in a room, but cradled within a wider, sleeping world. In the barn, the horse stamps a hoof once in a dream, then settles. A pine cone falls from a tree in the nearby woods, landing on a cushion of needles with a muffled thud. Far, Far in the distance, if you listen with the ear of your imagination, you might hear the faintest murmur of a creek, water gossiping with stones as it makes its endless, patient journey to the sea. Time itself feels different here. It is measured not in minutes, but in the gradual cooling of the hearthstones, in the imperceptible turning of the stars outside the shuttered window. There is no past to regret here, and no future to anxiously plan for. There is only this perfect, expansive now. A now filled with safety, with quiet, with the profound completion that comes after honest work. Feel yourself sinking into that completion. Your own day's work is done. Your own cares can be banked like the fire, their sharp edges softened by this deep, historical peace. The weight of the handmade quilt becomes a comforting pressure, holding you gently to the earth. The scent of straw and wood is like a tonic for a busy mind. Now, let the specific images fade. Let the colonial room become simply a feeling of being protected, of being small in the best way, a single, rested note in the grand, slow symphony of the night. All that remains is the rhythm of the sleeping breaths around you, the rhythm of the cricket's night song, the rhythm of your own heart, slowing to match the pace of this ancient peace. You are drifting back through centuries on a boat of quiet sounds and gentle darkness. The destination is not a place, but a state, the state of perfect, dreamless rest. Allow the final words to be an echo, not an instruction. Safe, warm, deep, rest. And now, let the story go. The night holds you. Sleep. The embers in the hearth sigh a final, crimson breath, their pulsing light now just a memory held in the warm stones. The room is embraced by a velvety darkness, so complete and soft it feels like a blanket over your senses. The last distinct sound, the shhhshhh of knitting needles, has ceased. The house is held in a sacred pause between the end of one day and the start of another. The house dreams. Listen now, not with your ears, but with your soul. The house itself is settling into its own kind of slumber. The massive oak beams overhead, cut from the heart of the forest a generation ago, release a gentle, almost musical creak as they contract in the cool night air. It is the sound of wood remembering it was once a tree, sighing in its sleep. In the corner, the spinning wheel sits motionless, but if you listen closely, you might imagine the faint, phantom hum of its wheel from earlier in the day, a ghost of productivity now at rest. The plaster walls, made of clay and straw from the nearby riverbank, seem to breathe out the day's warmth, holding the cool, still air gently against you. Outside, the world has transformed into a realm of silver and shadow. A full moon, unseen but powerful, rises over the treetops. Its light cannot pierce the shutters, but it works its magic on the landscape outside. It silvers the edges of the cloud above the cleared fields, turns the path to the well into a ribbon of faint light, and watches over the sleeping livestock in the meadow, who stand together in a quiet, dark huddle. The guardians of the night. You are not alone in your wakefulness. The night has its own gentle guardians. A field mouse scurries along the stone foundation of the house, a tiny, delicate scratching that only deepens the silence around it. In the forest beyond the field, a fox steps lightly on fallen leaves. The sound is so faint, so precise, it is less a noise and more a feeling of life continuing its quiet course. High above, the Milky Way swirls in a brilliant, icy river across the black velvet of the sky. Unobstructed by any artificial light, it is a breathtaking spectacle of silent fire, a reminder of the vast, beautiful clockwork of which this little homestead is but a single, cherished part. Let this vast, starry silence press gently upon you. It is not empty, but full of peace, of cosmic order, of a timeline so slow it makes your heartbeat seem like the soft, steady drum marking a peaceful passage through eternity. The final letting go. Your bed, with its ropes and straw, has now perfectly shaped itself to your body. It holds you like a gentle hand. The rough linen of the sheet has grown soft against your skin, warmed by your own heat. The quilt feels like a field of flowers gently weighing you down, keeping you safe and anchored in this deep, historic night. Now, imagine one final, soothing task. The last waking member of the household, perhaps the father, rises silently for a moment. He goes to the small window and opens the interior shutter just a crack. Not enough to let in the cold, but just enough to let in a single, thin blade of moonshine. It cuts across the dark floor, a luminous silver path connecting the world of stars to the world of sleep. He looks out, sees his sleeping world, his breath a small cloud in the chilly air. Satisfied, he closes the shutter with a soft click, sealing you all in a perfect, dark cocoon. This is the signal. All is well. The night watch has been taken up by the moon and the stars. Your duty is now simply to rest. A lullaby of absence. The sounds that remain are not really sounds at all. They are the sound of absence. The absence of wind. The absence of footsteps. The absence of fire. The absence of worry. This absence is the most profound comfort. In this void of demand, your mind can finally unwind. Your thoughts, like tired laborers, can lay down their tools. There is nothing more to plan, to build, to fix, or to fear. The world, for these few precious hours, requires nothing of you but your peaceful existence. So, let go. Let go of the feeling of the quilt. Let go of the image of the room. Let go of the scent of wood smoke. Let go of the story itself. You are drifting back through the layers of time, not on a path, but on a quiet river. The colonial night melts into your own night. The gentle breathing of that distant family becomes your own breathing. The safe, dark cocoon of that hand-hewn home becomes the safe, dark space of your own rest. You have visited. You have observed. You have felt a slower rhythm. Now, let that rhythm become yours. Your heartbeat slows to match the patient turning of the earth. Your breath deepens to match the sighing of the ancient beams. Your consciousness softens like the dying embers. You are home. You are safe. You are deeply, profoundly asleep. The silence after the shutter's soft click is absolute. It is a silence so deep it has texture, like sinking into a pool of dark, still water. In this profound quiet, the boundaries between then and now, between that house and your room, begin to dissolve completely. The dream weaver arrives. From the corners of the quiet, a new presence emerges. It is not a sound, but a feeling of gentle unraveling. The tight coil of your thoughts, the memories of the day, the last echoes of the story, they begin to loosen. Picture, if you can, a skein of yarn in the basket by the hearth, slowly unwinding itself. Each loop that softens is a tiny release. A concern, let go. A mental list, forgotten. A faint anxiety, smoothed away into the warm dark. The moon outside, that silent sentinel, continues its journey. Its beam, now blocked by the shutter, turns its attention to the landscape. It frosts the spiderweb between the fence posts with liquid silver. It watches as a soft fog begins to rise from the creek bed, tendrils of mist creeping over the meadow like a blanket being drawn up over the sleeping earth. This fog muffles the world further, softening edges, blending forest into field, past into present. The rhythm of the earth. Now, tune your awareness to a deeper frequency. Beneath the floorboards, beneath the stone foundation, lies the living earth. It is cooling from the day's sun, a process as slow as a heartbeat once per century. You can imagine the roots of the great oak tree at the property's edge, resting deep in the soil. You can feel the patient, sleeping energy of seeds buried for the winter, holding their potential in tiny, hard cases. This is the rhythm of the planet itself, a slow, steady exhale. Your own body aligns with this rhythm. Your heartbeat is now the soft thump of a moth against the shutter, gentle and persistent. Your breath is the faint stirring of air from the sleeping child's parted lips. The blood in your veins is the hidden creek, whispering its endless, soothing secret underground. A final gift from the past. Just as you hover on the cusp of sleep, the colonial night offers you one last gift. It is a scent memory. Not the wood smoke, nor the straw, but the clean, cold, impossibly pure scent of air untouched by industry. Air that has traveled over miles of forest and mountain. Air that has known only the breath of animals and the transpiration of leaves. You take one last, deep, imaginary breath of this pristine air. It fills you with a cool, clear emptiness, washing the last remnants of mental static away. And then, even that fades. The story is complete. The guided journey is over. You are not being told to sleep anymore. You have simply arrived at its gateway. What remains is only the echo of a feeling. The feeling of being utterly held. Held by the bed. Held by the dark. Held by the slow, kind wheel of the night. There is no more to listen for. No more to imagine. Your mind is a still pond. Your body is a weight of peaceful warmth. The last conscious thought is not a word, but a color. The deep, soft indigo of the sky just before true night, the color of perfect rest. Now, let the silence be the author. Let the darkness be the guide. Let sleep, that ancient friend visited by every soul across every century, finally take your hand and lead you the final, gentle steps into its deep and welcoming fields. You are there. The story ends here, leaving you in the quiet. Sleep well.